Why did you come here? I mean, you should be in the office right now. Tyung, why I can't be here? Sir, there was a presentation today in the office. Tyung, why I postponed it? He said while both entering. Why? You had worked very hard for that presentation, and I can't give the credit for that work to someone else. But so it was very important. Wine was shocked and worried because she knew how important it was. Tyung, you are important too, Wine. Wine looks at Tyung in confusion as he sits beside her. Wine, sir. Working in the office. Tyung, I don't care, Wine. I just want you in the office. Tyung, Wine, I didn't fire you yesterday. You looks at him. Tyung, when you left yesterday, do you think I had fired you just because? Tyung, you have been with me since I became CEO. One gaze falls on Tyung's finger and she's shocked. One Tyung's phone rings, but Tyung's attention isn't on his phone. One, sir, your phone. Tyung, this phone. One, call me Tyung. Tyung says irritatedly, then realizes. Tyung, I'm sorry. Your call. Tyung takes the phone and moves aside. What's gotten into him? Whisper. Meanwhile, on the call, Mrs. Kim. Tyung, what I'm hearing? Angry tone. Tyung, what mom? Sigh. Mrs. Kim. What mom? Tyung, did you break off your engagement with Solion yesterday? Mrs. Kim, Tyung, answer me. Why did you do that? You know what has just happened, right? Solion's dad, Mr. Choi and Mrs. Choi are here. They are angry. Top of that, Solion is in tears. Tyung, Mom, it's not my fault. Is cut off by Mrs. Kim. Mrs. Kim, Tyung, I don't want to hear anything from you right now. Come home immediately. Your dad and I are extremely disappointed with your actions. Tyung, I can't come home right now, he said firmly. Mrs. Kim, Tyung, you have to come now. Your Aunt Solin's wedding is in 3 days. Tyung, what wedding? I broke off the engagement. There is no relationship between us anymore, and you can't force me into marrying her. I have seen her real self. She is not what you all perceive her to be, and you will find out soon enough. He cuts off the call and turns, but is shocked. Tyung, when you doesn't say anything and looks towards Tyung's finger, but there is no ring. When, so you broke. When, let's not talk about this topic. Tyung placed both hands on Wine's shoulder. Wine's mom. Tyung, would you like to have breakfast with us? Tyung, yes, actually I skipped breakfast today. Wine's mom. Okay, join us then. After breakfast, Tyung and Wine go to the office and Wine gives a presentation that impresses everyone. They all clap. Mr. John. Mr. Kim, Tyung, your presentation was excellent as always. Tyung, I know, he chuckles. Mr. John, Wine, you promised last time. Lunch with me this time. If you're free, let's go now. Wine, of course, Mr. John. Mr. John, call me Jungkook or Tyung, Jungkook, it's the office, so let's be formal. Jungkook, Young, how much longer will you stay angry? You will get some man wrinkles on face. Tyung, stop joking around Jungkook and whine. This is that funny, why are you laughing? Jungkook, well look, wrinkles are starting to appear on Tyung's face even more quickly. They both laugh again and Tyung starts to laugh. Jungkook, Mr. Kim, Tyung, I'm heading to lunch with the secretary. Suddenly Tyung returns. Tyung. Jungkook, I know Young, you will never let us have lunch alone. Tyung, that's because I know you both will make fun of me when I'm not around. Time skip. Tyung and Wine are in the car. They are returned after lunch with Jungkook. Tang has been receiving calls from Mr. Kim and Mrs. Kim for a while now, but he hasn't answered. He put his phone on silent. Wine. Tang, wine, call me Tang or Tay. You widen your eyes, wine, Tay. Tang, yes, Tay, smile. Wine, okay, Tay, you have a call coming in your phone. Tang, I know. Suddenly his tone becomes cold. Wine thoughts, what kind of man is he? Wine, Tay, I think you should talk to your parents. Tang, I'm not in the mood. He looks out of the window. Wine, Tang, I think this is going to become personal. Tang looks toward Wine instead of out of the window. Time skip at night. But why did Tang break up with Soleon? I know Mr. Kim and Mrs. Kim pressured him into the marriage, but he told me just last week that he would try to love her to avoid hurting his parents. So what happened? Once mom, Wine, go to sleep now. What are you thinking about? Wine, yeah. Meanwhile, Tang's bow. As soon as I entered the house, mom and dad were already sitting on the couch, glaring at me. I nervously tried to conversation because no one was talking. Mr. Kim, Tang, get out of our sight right now. We don't want to see your face. Dad says angrily, before tears come to my eyes, I leave from there and go to my room. Tang, what the heck is happening to me? I tried so hard to love Solan, but my heart never accepted her. Why do I always think about Wine when it comes to my wife? Suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Tang, who is it? I don't want anything to eat. If Mama sent you, tell her. Tang shouts. Mrs. Kim, Tang, it's me. Tang start to wipe his tears and open the door. Mrs. Kim, Tang, son, are you okay? She carries his cheek, but Tang moves her hand away and looks at her with a straight face. Mrs. Kim, Tang, can you tell me why you broke up with Soleon? Tang says. Tang, mom, please, I want to talk about this tomorrow. Tang closes his eyes. Mrs. Kim, Tang, do you love Wine? Tang, I don't know. Mrs. Kim, Soleon told us everything that you broke up with her because of Wine. Is that true? Tang, yes, I broke up with her for Wine. Mrs. Kim looks disappointed. Mrs. Kim, Tang, you used to love Soleon and now you fell out. Tang shakes his head. Tang, no, I never used to love her. He sees straight to his mom, but she smiles. Mrs. Kim, Tang, if you love Wine, tell us son. Why should we force you to marry Soleon? Think from your heart. Who do you see when you think about love? Tang, Wine, smiles. Mrs. Kim, okay, Tang, I will talk to dad. She smiles. Tang. Next morning, Tang's mom has told everything to his dad, and his dad is happy because Tang has finally fallen in love. But he is also disappointed because Tang's actions have caused problem between their and Mr. Choi's friendship. However, prioritize their son's happiness over maintaining friendship. At the meeting hall, today all successful businessmen are coming to the meeting hall with their respective projects. Tang and Wine also enter as a powerful CEO and COO. Wine is also a COO respectively. They enter the meeting hall and their seats are next to Mr. Kang. Seeing Tang and Wine, Mr. Kang smirks. Tang and Wine chuckle at his smirk, exchange glances and then take their seats. Once both Mr. Choi and his daughter Soleon, who was their CEO, also arrived at the meeting hall, both of them looking at Tang with me anger. Soleon's gaze is particularly directed toward me. She is giving me a disgusted look, like I care. When I look at Tang, he gives me a very cute smile. I smile back. And Soleon observes all of this, getting angered by the moment. The meeting begins and everyone introduces themselves one by one, sharing their projects. It's about collaborating with the largest company in the US which wanted to partner with successful companies in South Korea, promising significant profits for us. As we had expected, Mr. Kang's project turns out to be the same as the one we had developed a week ago. However, he had opened it once after stealing it. Tiang looks at me, trying hard to control his laughter. Soon Mr. Kang and his secretary feel embarrassed and quickly sit down. Now it was our turn. Time skip. We have won this deal and everyone is congratulating us. Tiang is with a businessman from the US and is very happy. But since this morning, Tiang has been unusually cheerful. It feels like he has found the best thing in the world. He keeps smiling repeatedly. Hey Scarecrow, I recognize her voice inside, turning to her. One, while talking parrot, did you finally learn a new phrase? Or are you still stuck on Hey Scarecrow? Because I could use a new catchphrase for you, to spice things up a bit. Solian, look who decided to crawl out of their dumpster fire of a life. I'm surprised you could spare a moment from your busy schedule of being a walking disaster. Front row seat at a wedding, maybe witnessing true love in action will inspire you to find someone desperate enough to tolerate your presence. 1. Please, I know Tiang broke up the engagement video, so which wedding now? She looked at me and paused for a few seconds and laughs. Solian, do you seriously think Tiang refused to marry me? We dated for almost 2 months. He only broke off the engagement so that you could come back to the office and give the presentation and we could win this deal. 1. Do you think I'm so foolish to believe your words? I roll my eyes. Solian, believe it or not, but where is Tiang? Hasn't been seen with you? Well, he should have been with you, right? He's with my dad, see, talking about our wedding. Laughs. I told you when. It was all an act of on his part. You should understand that day when Tiang came to your house, took off his engagement ring, and then his mom called him because he had removed his ring. Solian, well, my wedding with Tiang is in 2 days, so be there. She laughs and leaves. I realize that Tiang only told me that he broke off the engagement with Solian, but their wedding is still scheduled in 2 days. Suddenly I started feeling strange from Solian's word. I didn't feel like staying here anymore. Began to trickle from my cheeks. I started walking across the road while crying, but suddenly a car was about to hit me. I closed my eyes and someone grabbed my waist, pulling me back. I stumbled and bumped into their chest, keeping my eyes closed. When I recognized her voice. Tiang, when have you gone mad? Why did you run away from there? And why are you crying? He cups my cheek, but I remove his hand and try to break from his grip. Tiang, Wan, what's wrong? Why are you behaving like this? Wan, congratulations on your wedding is in 2 days. Suddenly I felt like I shouldn't be running away. Mr. Kim is my boss. I should congratulate him on his wedding. Tiang, Wan, what are you saying? Which wedding? Tiang looks confused. Wan, stop your acting, sir. You are already won this deal. Suddenly his expression changed and he grabs my shoulder tightly, looking straight into my eyes. Tiang, Wan, what are you talking about? What acting? I start to feel scared of Tiang now because he looks very intense. Tiang, damn it, Wan, I asked you something. Wan, Tiang, Solian said your wedding is in 2 days and you only broke off the engagement with her for acting. Tiang, Wan, I don't care what she said to you, but I have no relationship with her anymore. I look at him, but you loved her. Tiang, Wan, I never loved her. I tried so hard, but I always failed. Every time I thought about love, I only saw you in front of my eyes. Wan looks confused. Tiang, Wan, I will have to tell you straightforwardly. You still don't understand. Tiang cups my cheeks again. When sides start to well up with tears, think when I have fought a lot for you, with myself, with my parents, and I know that